Hi guys, welcome to Stephen Hollywood Presents with me, Stephen Hollywood, Gavin GAVINOTTS Fletcher from Boys on Tour, and our very good friend Ollie Harper. How you doing, Ollie?
Hello, how you all doing today? You alright?
We're Sam, mate. How are you?
I'm doing great, mate. It's Sunday night, but it's actually not Sunday night now. It's in the early hours of Monday morning. I'm still up, I'm drinking a beer, and I'm chilling with you guys.
Sounds good to me. We want to focus on a few issues tonight. Firstly, TNA British Bootcamp and the winner. Do we think the winner deserved to win, Ollie?
Yes, I do. In all fairness, I think that the three guys in the final, all three of them deserved to win. It was pretty much anybody's game, this one. It was a really talented lineup of contestants this year. You can't say. I think they all hopefully should get a contract at some point, because I mean obviously they're going to be on the tour, so hopefully that's going to be a few more feet in the door, you know.
Well, yeah. We know that Mark Andrews was always going to be a favourite to win it, because we've spoke about this before on previous videos. But along with that, what about Kaylee Ray? I mean, speaking on behalf of the females for her, did she not have a fair shot to win the show?
Absolutely. I mean, like I say, like last year from season 1, you had the Blossom Twins, and the Blossom Twins were really good for season 1. I mean, it was only 4 in the first, well, yeah, it was only 4 competing in the first season. It was the Blossoms, Mark Party Rockstar Spud. Let's move forward to season 2, and you had Kaylee Ray, who we all know is one of the most talented female wrestlers on the Brit scene right now. She was in there with Rampage Brown, Grado, Noam Dar, Mark Andrews, and the bastard Dave Mastiff. So definitely, she fit well in, and she's definitely one of the talent that really stood out. Her match with Gail Kim on the finals was superb, really good. Really told a story, and was genuinely a very good match from both of those ladies. I mean, Gail works great matches with a lot. I mean, I remember the match with Taryn Terrell. I'm going off topic, I know, but Gail went in there, put on a superb performance with Kaylee Ray. Really put it on a great level.
And what thoughts have you got to share with us, Gav?
Well, with the winner.
With the winner, with your thoughts on British Bootcamp Season 2 generally?
A vast improvement from the first one.
Agreed.
Because you had this sort of, I would actually say, was TNA's answer to WWF's version of Tough Enough. Because there was no challenges as such, but it was just hard hitting wrestling, what we love. And full props to Mark Andrews for winning it. It's like, I've spoken to him a few times when I've got around to meeting him. Such a humble guy to meet. Everything. I wished him all the best for it once I found out he was in this. But all props to him. I really hope he does well for the company. Not does what Rockstar Spud's doing at the moment. Yeah, he's a gimmick being whatever in TNA, but if he was doing like the X division, what happens if Rockstar Spud and Mark Andrews happens in the X division?
Wow.
On the UK tour.
All I can say is wow. It would be fantastic.
Because at the moment, with obviously Rockstar Spud being a heel / face for the company.
Personally, I like the sound of that. I don't know if it's ever been done. I mean, perhaps you or Ollie could educate me. Has that match ever happened?
No.
Mark Andrews versus Rockstar Spud. What do you think, Ollie? Would that be a good match?
I think it would be something they'll definitely consider doing. I mean, season 1 winner versus season 2 winner. Yeah, sure, why not? It's definitely got a good name to it. I mean, that's one that's definitely going to put a bit of money in there. I mean, yeah, go for it on probably on one of the UK shows.
That would be good. That would be good.
Hmm.
Plus one match that stands out at the moment for the London tapings, Ultimate X. So if they put Mark Andrews in that will elevate his character straight away from the UK tapings. But then if he's in the Ultimate X match, it will actually show the world what he can actually do.
Would you like to elaborate on the Ultimate X match? Tell us a bit about what it is, please.
Basically a bit of scaffolding, bit of rope, and then a dangling X.
Okay.
It's basically like, I would say a bit like a Money in the Bank WWE's thing, but instead of a ladder, you've basically got rope holding the X.
But you have to get the X to win.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever seen one of these matches before, Ollie?
Yeah, let me describe it a little bit more than just being a bit of rope and axe. It's a match that is one of TNA's signature matches. They put this match on for a number of years. I mean, some of the guys that have been in this match have done some crazy stuff. Christopher Daniels, Kazarian, just to name a few. Like
Jay Lethal,
AJ Styles, Gavin, the same. But there's guys that are that have really come out of this match going in looking like, you know, just in a big card, and they've come away really putting their name on the map. For this match is one of these that can really put a guy and his name on the map.
Hmm. So it definitely sounds like a match to look out for.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Well, something that myself and Gav were speaking about before you came on Skype with us, Ollie, was where TNA may well go with a Bootcamp Series 3 and who we would like to see on it. So I'll open the floor to Gav first. Who would you like to see on it first? Give us one wrestler you'd like to see on a Series 3 of Bootcamp.
the way it's going, Robbie X.
Took the words right out of my mouth. I'll second that one. But give us a reason why.
Because he reckons he's too young to sign for WWE, which I don't think he is, but this is more to the point where I think he's long overdue for that big push wherever he goes. He's had a few European dates dotted around this past year. He's making a name for himself. He's appearing on posters on tube stations in Italy, I think. Yeah, it was Italy. And he's making waves. He's been in the industry for long enough, and he needs that moment in his career to go up that next step. And I'm all for Robbie X going that far to apply to be on British Bootcamp Series 3.
Absolutely. After interviewing the guy personally, the way he spoke, he's already said that next year will be Robbie X's year. And if he wants next year to be Robbie X's year, that is one definite way to make it happen. He will go on that show. I don't want to compare him to Mark Andrews and say he's the next Mark Andrews or he's the next Rockstar Sport. He's not the next anybody. He's Robbie X. And he could do it in his own right and in his own name. Now, I don't want to brush Robbie X under the carpet, but I want to put somebody else into the mix. Ollie, who do you think would be on British Bootcamp Series 3?
Two people that just come to mind.
Okay.
The first guy is just because of him teaming with Mark Andrews in the past, and I definitely think it would be almost like a guy to follow in Mark Andrews' footsteps. Pete Dunne.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think Pete Dunne would be an interesting name, just because, you know, I can definitely see him auditioning for the show next year, because he comes from the same background as Mark. I think, I mean, these guys have worked together, they've wrestled together, they've travelled up and down the country together, and you know, I feel that, you know, Dunne would probably be a guy who, you know, they may take interest in because of his history with Andrews. This second guy, I would not rule out be Will Ospreay. I think Ospreay is a guy that TNA should definitely take note in. I think Ospreay should be on Bootcamp next year. In what way, I don't know, but in terms of it being on Bootcamp,
Okay, do you think that in any way, shape or form you're saying that about Will Ospreay on the back of Mark Andrews based on the being two high flyers, or are you saying that solely based on Will Ospreay's talent?
I'm solely saying that Will Ospreay's talent. It's funny you say that. I know you probably thought, well, these two have worked together up and down, in Southside have done a rivalry with them. But no, in all fairness, I'm literally saying Will Ospreay on the basis of Will Ospreay. I saw Will Ospreay at Revel Pro at the end of October, and he put on an absolutely superb match with Matt Sydal and Bourne, with WWE fans who are watching this today. And these two went out there and they put on a damn good match. Will Ospreay is the future. He's fantastic, guys. He's just getting better and better. The first time I got to see Ospreay was speaking in April this last year. He was one that definitely turns heads.
Definitely.
One thing I just want to say, does anyone here notice the difference with the boot camps? Like season 1 boot camp was much more reality based, like it was like a reality TV show, whereas season 2 had that little element to it, not as much.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is pretty much what Gav brought reference to at the beginning when I says about Boot Camp Series 2, and like he said himself, it was a vast improvement on the format for Boot Camp 1, because like you've said, Boot Camp 1 didn't have a lot of wrestling in it.
No, it didn't.
Whereas Boot Camp 2 was pretty much exclusively wrestling.
Yeah.
And it was a better format. And to choose between the two, you'd have to say Boot Camp 2 was a lot better than Boot Camp 1.
Oh, for sure.
110%.
Oh, absolutely.
But whilst we're on the subject of wrestlers, I'm going to pick another one now. And it feels like we're trying to line up the X Division when they've already got plenty of wrestlers already. You've mentioned Will Ospreay. Gav mentioned Robbie X, two high flyers. I could be saying the wrong thing here, but what about Zack Sabre Jr.?
I think Zack's doing enough. He's doing quite a lot. I don't know if he would really need to go to TNA. I think he's probably. I don't know Zack personally, but it looks to me like Zack's doing pretty well for himself without needing to do TNA. I mean, if you've seen what Zack's been doing, he's got ties in Japan. He worked PWG's show over the summer.
Mm-hmm. But
the guy seems to be he's doing pretty well. I don't really know if he needs to do TNA.
But do they go to TNA because they need to, or do they go to TNA because they want to? And that's the difference that I'm referring to.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I mean, it's obvious that TNA is a lot easier to get into than WWE. When I say get into, I mean to get noticed. I mean, you don't see WWE. When I say that, I mean, yes, WWE do UK tryouts for guys.
Yes.
That can go somewhere, or they can't. Like sometimes, they do a tryout for guys. But TNA puts a lot more time, a lot more money into their whole UK developing system by doing these boot camp series things they do every year now. So yeah, TNA's definitely got more of a showcase on the UK talent,
And a little curveball. I don't want it to sound like I'm saying the wrong thing again, but it's a fair point and a fair question. What do we think to the possibility of Chris Travis trying again if he's fit to wrestle?
I would open arms to that.
I wouldn't rule it out. But as I say, there's only one person. Chris Travis is, he's a fighter. We all love Chris Travis. We'll send our love out to him. And hopefully, one day we'll see him back in the sweat circle doing what he loves. And yeah, man, hopefully when he comes back, man, he should definitely get in there again and get on boot camp.
I think we all agree there. And just as a little aside before we carry on with the video, we're still thinking about you, Chris. Get well soon. Right, well, we've spoke about British Bootcamp. Let's talk about 2015. Oh, sorry, Ollie, did you want to say something else?
No, I'm good.
Okay. we've spoke about British Bootcamp. Let's talk about 2015 and where we think British wrestling's going in 2015. And you both sat there thinking, right, sounds good. Where are you going with this? Where I'm going with this is, where are we going? Are we going to Hope and Southside? Are we going further afield? Are we looking at, what are we looking at doing with it? What are we looking at doing with 2015? Are we looking at more import-based shows? Are we looking at continuing on with the Brit scene? Are we looking at combining them? What are our thoughts?
Well, we are actually. Ollie's leaving us in March, isn't he?
Yeah, Ollie's going to be leaving us and going to work over in the States. But we'll not be seeing the last of him because I'll be able to do things like this with him over Skype while he's tucked up in Boston with a nice tea. Ain't that right, Ollie?
Boston iced tea?
Absolutely.
Never heard
As long as we get the time difference, alright,
We'll have to sort something out,
Yeah,
yeah.
probably stuffing his face with Wendy's.
So Ollie will be keeping us up to date, his finger on the pulse of what's going off on the American scene, and we'll be keeping Ollie up to date on the Brit scene.
I'm going to hopefully be checking out some indie wrestling when I'm over there, if I can. I know there's a couple of promotions that are going over there. There's one called Beyond Wrestling, which is apparently only an hour from Boston to Providence. So hopefully I'll go out there and check out, see how the indies are done over there.
That sounds like it'll be good, and it'll certainly be worth watching any video reviews that you do on the subject.
If he'll fit him in. I really hope he does, because I would love to see what the Americans have got to offer on their independent scene, not like what you do see on the independent scene, mainstream. Like Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, ROH, something different.
It would, yes. Now, back on the Brit scene, I'm going to put this name to Ollie first. Where do we see Tyler Bate in a year's time?
Tyler Bate in a year's time, wow. Big question.
He would have been my first shout for boot camp, but I don't think he's ready yet.
You know, it's funny you bring up Tyler Bate. It's there's a tag team. I don't know. Does anyone here watch NXT?
It's been known.
Okay.
It's not something I watch as a habit, but it's been known.
Okay. Well, there's a tag team in NXT right now called the Vaudevillains, and they're probably one of my favourite tag teams going right now. Basically, they're like a 1950s throwback. You know, like the old strong men you got at the carnivals where you have the bit of piano music playing.
Yes.
The old moustaches and they come out in the vest sort of deal with it. Do you know what I mean? They've got like a throwback to them, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tyler's a bit like that. I mean, he could fit in with the Vaudevillains really well. But besides the point, Tyler Bate, he's what, 17 right now?
Yes.
And look, I mean, you look at somebody like Noam Dar, yeah. When Noam was like 18, he was wrestling Davey Richards. I can only say Tyler's probably just going to be doing more dates, probably much more known on the UK scene. I mean, right now, he wrestles with Southside and a couple of other promotions, but I think in time the guy's going to really blow up on UK soil, and he will be much more booked up and down the country.
Very much.
Much more and more guys want to work with him. That's all I can really say. I don't think it's going to be a thing of, oh, he's going to go and get picked up by some big promotion, because I think it's more about really developing the foundations for this guy, because he's going to be something very special in a few years. If he sticks to it, he's going to be special.
Yes, I mean, are you aware that he's already wrestled former WWE star Chris Hero?
Yeah, I am. I was there.
Of course you was.
You.
Okay, we all make one mistake. That was mine. And obviously, if Tyler's wrestling stars like that now, and let's face it, Chris Hero is a star. If Tyler's getting imports like that now at 17, like you say yourself, couple of 3 years, he's going to be going places.
Well, no, you can't forget Jay Leaf, TNA guy.
Precisely. That was prior to the Chris Hero match.
There you go.
So he's had those two big fights under his belt already.
That's right.
And it hasn't phased him. I mean, you saw the match the same as I did. He was in the ring with Chris Hero, and it was toe to toe. It wasn't Chris Hero got in and dominated him. He held his own.
He sure did. Sorry, I'm yawning. I do apologise. Nothing to do with you guys. I'm just tired. It's nearly 1. But no, he really did hold his own. He looked good in there against Hero. And you know, it's funny, but this is where it all comes down to it. I remember when, not name dropping, I know, but when I did an interview with Al Snow the other year, he said, and I quote, you know, it never matters about who wins or who loses, and it really doesn't. That's not the whole point of wrestling. It really doesn't. That's just for the fans. You know, that's just to get the fans into it. Who wins and who loses, okay? But when the guy goes out there and he puts on a match, that's like his commercial. That's his opportunity to show the fans his highlight reel of what he can do, how he can move, how he can celebrate a move, you know? When you're looking at the fundamentals and the technicalities of professional wrestling, that is what it's all about. And a guy like Tyler Bate does that very well. Now, in terms of how, when he worked with Chris Hero, he went very well with him. I mean, he toe for toe, he swung around him. They flowed off each other really well. They were like chalk and cheese, man. They were two guys. Really, it was really flowed well. And by the end of the match, I remember Tyler was almost out of breath, if you remember, because he was going at like 20 miles and 30 miles an hour with Chris Hero.
Yeah, the guy never stops.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. But like I say, like Al Snow says, every time you go out there, you're in there against somebody who, you know, if you're in front of people who are big ties with a big company, or, you know, like, this is when Al Snow was talking mainly about gut check. You'll remember gut check, what TNA used to do? Yeah, well, that's what he used to say. It's a commercial. You're going out there, you are, it could be a 15-second commercial, it could be a 20-second commercial, however long it is, you've got to do whatever you can to make the fans invest their time, their money, their effort into you as a performer. Why should these people care that you are going out there, okay? And Tyler Bate does a very good job at making the fans care about him. When he goes out there, he gets the fans into it. Not only, but it's nothing to do with the age. I think it's more to do with the fact that he's naturally got a charm about him to the fans.
And the moustache. Don't forget the tash.
And the tash. But you know what I mean? There's a charm, there's a natural charisma there, which the fans warm with him. They warm up to him. And I think he's got it going pretty well for himself, I think. Right now, I mean, he's 17. But right now, if he's doing it like this now, how's it going to be in a couple of years?
Precisely.
Priorities, it's going to be good.
Precisely. Well, I think it's, like you said, it's getting late. We're all tired. So, thank you for joining us, Ollie.
Well,
And
you guys, if you ever need me, whenever you want me on here again, just let me know. I'm more than happy to come on, as long as it works out good for everybody.
yeah, well, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, obviously, when you're in America, we're definitely going to want to do more interviews with you.
Oh, for sure.
So you can keep us up to date what's going off over there, and keep everybody up to date with you.
Yeah, definitely.
So thanks for joining us. Have you got any final thoughts, Gav?
He said everything.
He pretty much has said everything, hasn't he? So that's it then. For Steve Hollywood Presents, I present Gavin GAVINOTTS, I present Ollie Harper, and I thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.